Welcome to Massenomics, the world's strongest podcast.
Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Yeah. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Massenomics. Make sure you go visit Massenomics.com. There you'll find the rest of our powerful content. While you're there, check out our store and buy yourself some of that sweet Massenomics gear. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of the Massenomics podcast. I'm Tyler. Over here is Tommy.
What's up?
And over there in the red, especially if you're listening, is Tanner.
Hey everybody, especially if
You can hear it in his voice.
You can hear the redness. Well, this week we want to open with a little bit of Q&A. Last week we run through the Strongman draft for the Strongman Showdown. I'm sure some trash talk for that's going to come up today. We opened up the Q&A to the public about an hour ago, and the shit talking is rolling in deep. So I think we'll just move on down the line. Tanner, do you want to see what we got here?
Sure.
And how did you phrase the asking for the questions, Tanner?
I said comment with questions for us to answer on this episode. Just please try to keep the questions NC-17.
Real straightforward. Okay, I gotcha.
Like nothing. Is that correct? I couldn't remember. Is it like NR-17?
No, it's NC. Is that
Okay.
still a thing though? Actually,
I think so, because I think there's actually like...
I couldn't remember
I feel
when
like
I did
with
it.
Netflix and things like that disappeared.
I don't know.
Or what about MA?
That's TV ratings. So TV
Okay.
ratings a different thing. I think NC-17 is still a thing because, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still a thing. You just don't ever see it.
Yeah,
because
because
it's
like when a
kiss of
movie
death
would, because
with
that would,
movies.
yeah, it's like, yeah, that would be the end of any blockbuster success right there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because it basically just wouldn't be in theaters.
Wasn't Freddy Got Fingered an NC-17 movie?
That's a good question. What
Is
it is...
NC-17 the
I think that's
believe-
technically the worst, which is dumb because isn't actually R, if you read, doesn't say audiences under 18? Is that?
Well, I believe audiences under 18, you have to be in the presence
accompanied
of
by
an
an
adult.
adult?
Okay.
But I think if NC-17 is like, if you're 17 or under, no bueno.
Ah, gotcha.
Let's see here. Freddy Got Fingered, NC-17.
Like
That's fine.
Netflix for sure had to have addressed a lot of this problem by just having, because they don't, I'm actually trying to think now, they don't have any ratings on them, do
I
they
don't
at
think.
all?
Do they?
Does it say adult content even?
It definitely. There's not like something before you start the.
Yeah, like my brain is just
Yeah.
cannot even picture that right now. It's going right past it.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not sure.
well, for me, like a rating concerns me not at all unless it's like, ugh, can I take my kid to this? And that actually only factors, like if it's a movie my kid doesn't want to see R-rated movies.
Yeah.
But I want to watch a movie and I have to be like, can I make him watch this? And
How many things am I going to have to explain once this movie's
yeah,
done?
right. Or is there? It's kind of like if you're watching a movie with your parents, and then there's just like this random like 9-minute long sex scene in the middle of it, and you're like, whew,
And you want to
We're
be
just-
like,
we're just gonna-
nice, but you can't.
we're just gonna fucking grit this one out.
Yeah.
Where was it here? Here we go. Freddy Got Fingered received an R rating, but that was following requested cuts to tone it down from an NC-17 rating.
Man, I
A
wonder what
rating
they
with
cut out of
a
that.
rating with which Tom Green described as NC-17 is like porn but with murder. As an extra on the DVD, he included a version that he edited to secure a PG rating. The PG-rated cut of Freddy Got Fingered is a mere 3 minutes long with comedic voiceover, which is pretty fucking funny.
Yeah. Yep.
Freddy Got Fingered coming back again to the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's probably.
I like that we
I think
talked
it's
about Freddy Got Fingered.
probably our podcast's official film.
And the fact that I still haven't seen it since I was probably in 8th grade actually makes me really want to watch it now.
It's worth watching.
Is it still the case that I guess nobody buys DVDs? Correct? Is that the case?
Correct, yeah.
But like, if you're not 18, don't you have to like show an ID to buy an R-rated movie? Even
I think
Or
so.
if they even bother.
yeah, if
Yeah,
they're
at this point,
like,
like,
if you
oh,
really want a DVD
he's
that bad,
buying a movie just.
I did watch some kids get yanked out of a movie though, in the movie theater because they tried to buy tickets to Deadpool 2, and then they were like not allowed to because they weren't old enough. So then, and our movie theaters run a little questionably anyways, so they just kind of like wandered in, bought some popcorn, and then walked into the theater anyways. But then they're like people running around there with flashlights and shit and found the kids and fucking drug them out.
Really?
So, yeah.
Seems
Apparently
like not that big of a deal to me.
And
it
they
seems
sent
like
them.
I wouldn't have a conversation with a 16-year-old over that. Just
Hey
'cause
man, your life.
Be like, well, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I'd have sold him the tickets. So
Yeah.
I gotta pay. But
Be like, no, but you could pay me like directly for this,
listen,
and
it's-
you can
you're
get you
paying
in.
cash. We'll
Yeah.
let you in. So the Q&A here.
Yeah. Keith
Favorite
Stone
scene
was one of them.
when Freddie got fingered. No.
I would say where the sausages are all hanging, like man,
The
is
sauce. Daddy, would you like some
that
sausages?
playing the piano.
That's probably my favorite, or the one where he's making fun of his brother because he got a LeBaron.
Yeah, I don't
He's
see
like,
two LeBarons.
Yeah, I don't
Where's
see
your
two
LeBaron?
LeBarons, Freddie.
I don't see two LeBarons. Where's your LeBaron?
Could we go through all the good scenes?
I mean, I think we got most of them covered.
The backwards man.
Backwards man's good.
Backwards Man is good.
No,
Most
go
of
walk
that
backwards
movie
fast
is
as I
not-
can.
Like watchable though. There's a lot of it where it's just Tom Green being Tom Green. Like, oh, that's Sean
It's like,
Green.
oh, a lot of it too. And what's so funny is it's like what, like if you're in fourth grade and you're trying to think of something that's really dirty, that's
Yeah.
probably what you'd come up
You're like,
with.
oh,
It's
man, you're gonna
it's like childish
chew
humor,
on the
but
guts.
yeah. Then he's gonna lick the broken leg.
So thanks for the guy that asked us about our favorite
Freddie got fingered.
episode of South Park.
You gotta scan your driver's license.
Yeah. This is from Keith Stone Waldman. Approximately how much weight will the lift shorts add to my squat?
Well,
All of it.
yeah. I mean,
That was actually
Yeah,
a pretty
that's
good answer from
Yeah,
Open
that's from
Powerlifting.
Open
was all of it.
Powerlifting. Yeah.
oh,
yeah.
yeah,
They
okay.
said all of it.
Yeah,
Keith.
yeah.
How much will it add though?
I mean, I believe I saw an image that said there's you can fit a lot of PRs in them.
That's true. Into these.
I thought it said you could fit a lot of pee in them. And I was
You could
testing
probably
it,
do
and
that,
you
too.
actually can fit an awful lot of pee.
They
into those
hold
shorts.
they hold a lot.
For mesh shorts, it was really surprising.
I'm sure it won't make you squat less.
Couldn't
No, not possible.
lift shorts.
They're like
Can't
kind
hurt
of
your squat,
they're kind
yeah.
of between on
It
the
won't make your squat worse than it is.
on the scale. They're kind of between like shorts and supportive briefs. They
Yeah.
fall somewhere in the middle there.
Right. It's not full single ply, but
But I mean, it might be
It's
doing
not raw.
something for you. Yeah.
Big Brad Neitzel 88 on Instagram said,
Oh, is that Brad Night Moves?
yes,
Brad
Brad
Night
Night
Moves.
Moves Neitzel, yes.
Yep.
Said, what is the correct deadlift to Atlas Stone loading ratio? Asking for a friend.
Okay.
So
should we get the adding machine out here?
Yeah. So he's saying, what is he saying? Percentage of your like if your deadlift is 200 pounds.
How much should you? How much
Yeah, how
stone
much of a
should you
stone?
be able to pick?
So what's fit? Does 50% make sense? Is it over
I think,
or
I
less
think,
than
I think
50%?
I think your stone should be over 50%.
Yeah,
50%.
I can speak only from my experience, and my max deadlift is 540.
Should it be 60%?
I think
That's
it's
what
over
I'm looking
60
at. That's what
because
I'm looking at
my
right
I've
now.
done three. What's the big stone? 320, 325,
330.
330. I've done
there's
the
the 300.
330 for a double,
Yeah.
and my max deadlift is 540. Or at the time when I was doing that, it was 540.
So say your deadlift is like theoretically 771. Just to pick
Just picking
Random.
numbers, just random numbers.
at 50%, that's 385. So that's probably relatively easy. What's 60%?
In my opinion,
460?
I think for sure you should probably be able to stone load. I'm just feeling out where I'm at and what I see. I think about maybe 2/3 of your deadlift, but there's a point of diminishing returns too.
Yeah.
Because like the
Yeah.
world record's 550.
Well, and the other thing with stones is they get bigger as they get heavier.
Right.
that becomes the issue.
Well, and if your deadlift was 771, 66% then would be a 509 Atlas stone.
which is then a lot.
Yeah.
So I think this happens on a curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, we're getting into more advanced principles.
Yeah,
now.
so
curves.
listen,
But if 60% at his,
I think
if you had
60.
a 771.
I think in that 60 ballpark's pretty accurate, actually.
What was yours?
Well,
540, you said?
Yeah,
Or
so just
545 versus-
just assuming, because I did 330, I just said assuming I could do 20 more pounds, 350, since I did the 330 for a double. That put me at like 65%. Brian Shaw, for example, we know his max deadlift is what, like 10, 20
Yeah,
or whatever?
yeah, yeah.
And
We'll
what has
call
he
it a
done?
cool
The Slater Stone he's done, what's that, 550?
5 or
Yeah,
560.
555. Yeah, 560 now maybe.
Divided by 10.
So it's 56-ish.
He's at like 54 to 56% So I mean,
So it's easy to say over 50, definitely.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
definitely for almost everyone.
I mean, unless you're Brad, then I mean, over 40 is probably good.
and if you're really good at stones, it might be as high as I don't
Wait,
know,
is Brad on my team?
70.
No, he's not on my team. Yeah, fuck you, Brad. Tim's gonna really. What's Tim's what's Tim deadlift? Do we even know?
I don't
Has
know.
anyone
like
seen
yeah,
Tim
that-
he
deadlift?
did. He
At that
competed-
competition, he did.
I think he did like 550 or something.
It was
didn't
right. I think it was right around the same as me.
Yeah.
Like,
So
right
he's
around
at about
540.
80%.
he? Yeah. Yeah.
He's a
Yeah. That's true.
technician.
Yeah, he is real. Actually, like
Yeah,
he's
that's
on.
ridiculous.
He's very skewed on that curve too.
Yeah.
But how about this? Do you think there is a strong correlation, generally speaking, across the lifting population between someone's deadlift and their Atlas stone loading?
Well, I would say.
I
mean,
don't know that that's the metric that I would use.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would.
I don't
use
think it
instead.
hurts though. Like
No.
I would use that as a baseline. Like if someone
I
has
will-
a strong deadlift,
I will say that
assuming they're over 5'5".
Yes.
If
Yeah.
you're especially if you're over 6 foot and you have a strong deadlift, I'm gonna say chances are you're gonna be good
yeah.
at stones, or you have a high potential for
Yeah.
stones.
I think part of it too, I do think deadlift is important because the only time I've ever felt like I was going to tear a hamstring was during like a really heavy stone load.
Yeah.
But I don't know still that that's a direct carrot because I've seen some really good deadlifters be pretty fucking shitty
Yeah.
at stones.
Yeah. It depends a lot on what your wingspan is
Yeah.
like.
I do think too that there's a significant amount, and this is maybe a piece that gets. I think there is a significant amount of like upper body strength. Like I think it's almost a combination of your deadlift and squat in your ability to keep your midline like tight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because to lock in that stone, you got to be from really your traps to your fucking calves. Got to be rock solid.
Right.
You know.
If I had to pick a barbell exercise to be a barometer, I guess it would probably be the deadlift is probably the best one.
Yeah. But being but if you move your deadlift up 50 pounds, would your stone go up? I don't know that it would.
Yeah.
You know.
I
Right.
don't think so either.
Or
I think,
or could you could
Or if you're
certainly
che-
get
or if
better on
you're-
your stones without increasing your deadlift.
Oh,
you know, you
yeah,
could just
definitely.
get more
Yeah.
proficient
And
at
like
stone loading.
if your fucking chest is weak as fuck, I don't know that you're gonna lock in a bag or lock in a stone like that.
So hopefully that answers Brad's question for
Which
a friend.
is Brad. Tim's gonna crush you. 'cause you're on the red team.
Mr. Night moves.
The next one here is from patriotic_powerlifting. Per my calculations, you are selling your shorts for $7.63 more than they actually cost. What was the hardest hurdle you had to overcome when starting the store aspect of Massenomics, besides getting people to buy overpriced apparel? Love the show. If people haven't been following us on Instagram and the podcast and everything, this is becoming a running kind of like a running joke about the shorts and the price that they are. So I was happy to see that there was at least one comment about the shorts.
What was our biggest hurdle in
yeah,
as far as with
there
the
was a
store?
real question in there.
And that actually is a good question
yeah.
too.
What was the hardest hurdle you had to overcome when starting the store aspect of Massenomics?
Have we had any big like landmark things we had to
Well,
get over, or what's the biggest challenge?
I guess
in it?
the two parts there to me would be either the logistical part or like the part of actually getting people to buy stuff.
Yeah.
And the logistical
'cause
part.
you can have a store.
I mean, yeah, like it's really. I mean, we use Squarespace. If you want to start a store, I mean, you can go on Squarespace, Shopify, whatever, and you can click a few buttons and literally
make it-
start a
they
store.
make
Like
it pretty easy.
that's
Yeah.
not even a hard part anymore.
No.
Like it, you know, I do have experience. That is kind of how I make my living, is doing this online stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm fairly confident that if I didn't have anything to do with it, you guys could have figured that part out in a certain amount of time.
Yeah, it might not be it wouldn't be as good, but like I think
But it-
almost anyone that knows
yeah.
how to use a computer could figure out how to
think
like
so.
get something out there.
So
you
yeah,
know?
I would say the barrier for entry there is really low now. I
Yeah.
mean, like anyone can do that, but the hard part is getting people to go there.
yeah, yeah,
I think for us it was a combination of you do need a thing that people really like.
yeah.
And so our like initially what we really wanted to do is like, well, it's just going to be like content marketing, right? So we're going to make a podcast and hopefully it doesn't fucking blow, and we're going to do articles and videos and hopefully those don't blow, and if people like those, they'll like us
Yep.
and they'll buy a shirt that says Massenomics. And that generally was the way things were moving. And then the lift shirt, the Weekend Warrior shirt came out, and that it's almost such
Change
a good
the game.
Well, it's such a good. What is it? Such an appealing design.
Yeah.
That people will actually buy that who don't know us.
Yeah, right.
And that
some
is-
people have found the brand through that shirt,
Yeah.
which is then is good.
And then
on
bought
both
other
sides.
stuff.
And I would say that's a real kind of the beginner's mindset is one thing you have to be aware of that. I mean, we kind of fell into the trap right away too. Is just because your logo's on something doesn't mean like, all right, people are going to be lining up out the door to buy it.
You gotta let them like you.
Like,
They have
actually-
to like the thing.
Yeah, that's probably, and we even talk about this. That's probably the hardest purchase, or like the realest purchase, is when we see people buying like things like the OG shirt that has just the Massenomics logo. Like, we know they're a real fan because you don't buy that shirt unless you are actually a
Right.
fan of what's going on here.
Right.
And we're stoked if you buy the lift shirt and the huge life.
Oh,
stuff.
totally, yeah. And that one has more universal appeal to
For
it.
sure. But
yeah.
if you buy one with just like an OG logo on it,
It's like, oh,
we're like,
that guy
oh, man,
really
they-
likes
this
us.
guy-
Yeah.
Yeah,
This guy's on the fucking
Yeah,
team.
it's not like you just walked into a store and you're like, oh, there's a shirt, I'll buy it. Like you might do with like Nike or Under Armour or Adidas. Like, oh, okay, that's a Nike shirt. It's
Yeah, our
it's
shirts are not
$15.
like a
Like, yeah, I'll get. It's like
shirt.
it's like, yeah, you have to go out of your way to seek this out, and then to buy a shirt with a logo that you have no idea what it is really, really unusual.
Yeah.
So you know someone's a real fan when they're doing that.
But like you said, it's not that hard to get the site set up, and it's not that hard to get things in there that you at least think are cool. But then it's the next step of like,
Oh, other people.
yeah,
Yeah.
like,
cool.
and even just getting people to see it at all. Like, it can exist
And
out
then
there on
traffic.
the internet, and
When
you
we
watch
started,
the traffic.
we-
It's
and
like,
traffic's-
why aren't people going to this?
Actually, traffic's
you know?
really easy. All you got to do is just write articles, make videos, do podcasts, Facebook posts, and Instagram posts like for 3 years straight, and then
consistently.
yeah, like multiple times a week, consistently for 3 years, and then traffic starts to go in. Like, that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
All you got to do is do it all the time for a really long time, and you can't be really bad at it. You can be as bad as we are at it, but you can't be
It'd be
really
much
bad
worse
at
than
it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's it. People just start buying stuff then.
So all we did is just we're pretty average for a really long time.
Yep.
That was our biggest hurdle.
Was there any
And that is the hurdle.
staying average for this long? Like, not
We could be
improving.
mediocre for and still be in the game as long as we have. You're
It's
doing
it's
pretty
actually
good.
exceptional
What-
how good we can.
What?
But we talked about this in the beginning too, though. Is like, even with just the podcast, is like we knew when we started, like, this has to be a thing that we do every week for fucking a really long time. Because if you do it for a year, it doesn't matter.
Oh.
You know, we're at like over 120 some episodes. Like,
And I think it's easy for people to get into something like a podcast and do it for even 6 months, which would feel like a long time, probably. You know, seem like a decent amount of time. Maybe like, man, this is not
we're-
going anywhere.
we're-
Like,
we're
nothing's-
really-
like, what are we doing wrong? And you know,
Try doing one for 100 plus episodes that
and
doesn't
then
go
still,
anywhere.
still wondering. Like, yeah, but I
2.5 years in,
but I think that happens a lot. I mean, you've talked about the statistics before, and it's like
the drop off is crazy.
we're probably in like less than 1% of a
for sure
you
because
know.
nowadays everyone has a
Right.
Not-
So many started
people have
one.
one, have started one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would love to see the amount of of podcasts that haven't produced an episode in over a year.
I mean, Serial isn't doing it. That's for sure.
Bunch of fucking
And we're gaining downloads on them probably all the time.
every day.
Yeah.
Probably-
I don't know if I'd believe
We're
that.
losing
not,
more, we're
actually.
losing more ground every
I'm
day,
sure
but-
5 years from now
Now-
they'll still.
now our listeners are like, "What's this cereal?" Yeah, like, damn it.
It's going to waste like 10 hours you could have listened to us. Was there any other significant hurdles with the starting the store? Anything else?
I mean,
Well, I mean, general like quality control is a big deal.
yeah, like just vendors.
Inventory is
Yeah,
like
inventory is really tricky.
managing inventory, like having the money to like
Yeah, when you have to have money to buy orders up front, and
Yeah.
then you have to play mind reader and guess, like, am I going to have a lot of people that are large people,
Yeah.
or 3X people, or small people? And you have to magically guess sizes.
Yeah, well,
and then don't shoot yourself in the foot, because if you run out of mediums and you're selling those things like crazy,
You gotta
just
buy-
lost a lot of sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, also the thing is, if you run out of mediums, you got to buy another 100 fucking shirts.
Right.
So it's like you gotta spend a significant chunk of change.
like the Weekend Warrior, we stock 8 sizes.
Yeah.
so if we get low on one, an
But
entire
luckily-
new order has to
yeah,
take place.
Luckily, we have a highly top secret math equation to get
We
all the
do.
sizes calculated.
I do have
It's
a running
algorithm.
yeah, I do have. There's a running algorithm on
Yeah,
that.
you have to punch in
And
the
we've
day.
got
of-
one of the biggest fan bases in the world, I would say. Not biggest as in numbers, but biggest as in shirt size.
We do sell.
More 4Xs than I ever would have expected.
Yes. Where to the point where you're like, who are these guys? Like, I know people that wear 2Xs and some even that wear 3Xs. Like, bigger than that.
I'm the biggest person I interact with on a yearly basis. And I wear a 2X.
And there's people buying shirts 2 sizes larger than that.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah. Well, I take probably the most satisfaction when someone in a 4XL buys that.
This
is good. This is good. Going to be good advertising.
These people
Also,
get it.
Yeah.
Also, my favorite is when we sell a small because I'm like, that person is on board.
Yeah. Those
true.
both of those numbers make me happy when I see
Although
them.
those are the 2 least common
It is,
sizes, the small and 4X.
which makes complete sense.
Solid question though,
Yeah.
Mr. Powerlifting.
Yeah. So, Nick .thick. That's Nick Tadlock. He said,
So not thick, Nick.
nope.
He's
Nick
kind of
thick.
Two
Okay,
C's,
okay.
so it's a booty
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Would you rather? This is a good question. Would you rather have penis-sized nipples or a nipple-sized penis?
Penis-sized nipples all day. I think that's
Well,
You can hide 'em.
it depends on who the
my
person
my
is. This
nipples
could be
are
a very
already
big.
unphotoshoppable.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler, you're almost there
I'm
already.
almost there. I got baby dick nips.
I don't know.
Man,
Penis-sized nipples would be pretty hard to
You can
cover up.
I
though.
think you can cover them up. I don't know.
I mean, if you wear a sweatshirt every day, you
Yeah.
could probably.
It'd be really super awkward, like even just going.
have-
Well,
you could have
but
sex
also
with
think
your
of
shirt
this.
on.
Think of this though, from a competitive standpoint, your range of motion could be cut down drastically.
on the bench.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
could
that's
be.
Just a
true.
little contact.
Yeah, yeah.
Depending on whose penis we're talking
Yeah.
about, I guess.
But a nipple-sized penis.
There's no coming back from that one.
I mean, that's
there's no
essentially
coming back from that
non-existent. Unless you're
That thing
Tyler
will do-
Stone, though.
one. That thing will do nothing for you.
Yeah. Could it be your nipples? Could I choose your nipples? I would like
You know
to
what?
not have either of those.
I think I'd go with penis-sized nipples because you could address that problem in a lot of different ways through through surgeries, through sweatshirts. I don't know how you address a nipple-sized penis.
I don't know what you would do.
The only addressing it would be never address, like
Yeah, like
never
you would just
letting
never-
it come up.
Also, the problem is you'd have to never let anybody else experience
That's
it.
right,
And also, it's of no use to you either. At that point, like, what are you going to do
Yeah.
with it?
Right.
During your alone time.
Yeah, that is a hard-hitting question, though.
That's these are the type of issues
But maybe
we like to tackle.
like,
Oh,
is there like
actual-
transferable?
No, I don't
properties?
think there's any sensation. They're not actual dicks.
They're just nipples the size of
The size
penises.
of dicks.
Okay. Great question here. Stephen Ree Davis, maybe. Let me know if you need anyone on the podcast. Thumbs up.
That sounds legit.
Like, is he going to find people for us, or is
Sounds
he
like it.
suggesting himself?
I just wanted to make sure this guy doesn't follow us or something. Like, no, this is just
Is it a
spam.
bot?
Well, I don't know that it's a bot, but it's
Definitely.
it's not. Before we made fun of him too much, I wanted to make sure it's not actually
Listen,
someone.
Steve.
Yeah.
Send us your fucking address.
So yeah, I guess we'll let you know if. I mean, could you find someone for us? Because I'm not sure any of us know who you are.
Yeah.
know if
Maybe
you-
we should have them on. Skype it in, bro. Let's do it.
So this next one is from free_shell.
Looks like Fraser Friesal. Last name I can't pronounce.
Yeah.
Friseal.
But he,
He's got the Huge Life
Yep.
shirt, so he's an OG.
yep.
Is he also? Did I see an overseas fan?
Is that the one that he had the story? Yeah. Yes. No, this is worth telling. Actually,
Okay.
what he did. I reposted this at one point
Like a
in time.
true, like a
Did
true
he
fan.
smuggle our shirts overseas?
Yeah. So he is from what country? I don't know.
he's
A different country that's not this one. And he.
That's the
like-
most. That's the most. It's like he was
like-
from. He was from,
like Maine or Vermont or something like that, or
from Malaysia or some other kind of China.
So what he did in order to get a shirt, because we don't have international shipping yet, he traveled to the USA and got a
Only-
shirt delivered to his sister-in-law because we don't ship internationally. That's what he did, I guess. It wasn't that long of a thing. The rest of it was mostly unrelated.
But
to
So
that.
that does take a
so
certain
he went
level-
to the
Yeah.
United States, spent time with your sister-in-law, which any of you guys who have sister-in-laws know how awful that is. just to get a Massenomics shirt.
Yeah. I mean, that does take a certain level of planning and
And I don't believe for a minute there was anything else that trip was about.
It was
No.
just to get the shirt.
Just to get the shirt.
Yeah.
So any international people, like, stop complaining.
Just fly to America.
Yeah.
Hang out with your sister-in-law for a week and
Listen.
or Fraser's sister-in-law. Maybe she maybe she's open to anyone that wants to like get a.
she could be running an underground network for housing people that want to get Massenomics shirts.
Yep, Underground Railroad of sorts. Okay. Oh, this one's for you, Tyler.
I saw that.
Derek Gray said, can you address this on the podcast? What's the deal with Tyler Stone humping sandbags? He acts like it makes him strong.
I do.
I don't know that either Tommy and I can address this.
I do hump my fair share of sandbags. I mean, that's called
hump a double
squatting.
entendre because like you do like hump is a word you use like to like in like you're carrying. Yeah,
something?
you like hump it.
I actually don't do near as many sandbag carries as I should, and I'm so bad at them that I would never put those videos on Instagram, so there's no way that's what he saw. So I'm assuming he means me getting a little sexual with the sandbag, squatting them. Yeah, it makes me pretty strong, I guess. I don't know. Wrecked my shit. I did a deal the other day with Derek at our gym. We just decided we were going to squat every single sandbag we had for 10 reps.
At once.
Well, like in one
Like
shot.
we
We put them all on top of each other.
Yeah.
Load
It
them
ended
up.
up being like, it was like 340 reps of sandbag squats, ascending in weight from like 40 pounds.
I mean,
to
340 reps of
260.
anything in general is.
Yeah.
And actually, now I'm 4 days removed from that, and my legs are still fucked. And there's like different spots on different. I've had this weird thing with my left knee for 6 months, and I have
And it helped it.
I have the weirdest soreness on certain areas of my left leg that I never imagined before.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh god, my shit is just fucked up. So yeah, I think a person should do those more often. Even me.
Jake.
So yeah, it makes me super strong.
Yeah. So Jake the Snake Heinrich, red team guy. I don't see a lot of blue team guys asking questions.
Honestly,
Oh,
the blue team
team
guys
morale
are so,
must be-
so
they're so busy training that they can't.
Blue
bother.
team, generally speaking, I picked the strongest, not the best with words.
Probably a fair strategy. Jake said, "If you could
It's not a reading contest, Tanner.
that's true. If you could immediately add 50 pounds to any of your lifts, but only one of your lifts, which would it be?"
I'm assuming we're going off of squat, bench, or deadlift. Right?
Yeah, that's what I would say, or Turkish get-ups. I
Or
guess.
lat raises, maybe.
Yeah.
50 pounds of my delt raise would be pretty dope, just because I bet I'd
Be
have
so
huge
much.
shoulders.
Then, yeah.
I'll go first on this one. I would like, in the short term, I'd like to have 50 pounds on my deadlift, like right now. However, I know where my ceiling is at with some things, and I really, really think that if you could take a bite out of 50 pounds on my bench press now, because I might never see that ever, another 50 pounds. So, like, I would take that overnight if I could, because that might take me 10 years,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
I think I would go with my squat with the idea that if I'm putting 50 pounds on my squat, I'm very close to 600.
Yep.
And I've never had my squat like go up and just other lifts kind of not just come with it. So I think that's the one
Just
I'd have to go
hoping
with.
that-
Yeah, just have to hope that if that's going to go up to close to 600, that things are going to magically come with it.
Yeah. I would choose bench for similar reasons you said,
Yeah.
because I would probably
If I- like,
enjoy
if-
the other
if
two
I
better,
had-
but like if my like it would be the I'm just thinking of what the numbers would be if any of them were
Yeah.
50 plus, and if my bench was plus 50, it would be a really good number.
You could
So-
quit your job and
Well,
just
I mean-
bench.
That's where I'm at. Like I'm pretty sure if I went to the bench now, like just sat down and did it, I think I'd be in that 450 range. I think if that got me close to 5, I'd be pretty stoked.
Yeah.
Because I know that in the rest of my life, there's not another 100 pounds to be had on my bench.
Right.
I just don't think that's possible
Right.
for me.
And I'm like, well, so if I did it to squat, I'd be 600 pounds, and that at
And it's
275 isn't like,
Well,
I mean, there's people I can see
Plus, you
200
also
pound, 180
Yeah.
pound guys doing that for reps every day on the
plus
internet.
also
you know?
like, don't you kind of expect that out of yourself at some point anyway?
Right.
So for me, like if I put 50 pounds on my squat, that'd be like, you know, I'm thinking like around 6.25, 630, 640.
Yeah.
But I also like that'll come. Same thing with my deadlift. I'm like we'll get there. But
Yep.
my bench, like at some point, that might actually extend my ceiling.
Yeah.
So I think that's the way I would do it.
Bench is I mean, relatively speaking, on bench, it means if you're just saying 50 pounds,
Yeah,
it goes farther on bench because it's
than
lighter
any of
weights.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But if you're talking a percentage,
say 10%,
10%,
Yeah.
then it might. I mean, it would make
there's
more.
There's a pretty
difference.
big window where 50 pounds in your deadlift you're still just in the
Yeah.
ballpark of if you're average right now, you add 50 pounds, you're still probably pretty average.
I think you can be average for about 120 pounds.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It sucks.
Like
but it's true.
That's like if I go from like about like 7 to 750, it's a meaningless difference to me. I think almost where it's like.
That's kind of how
Like,
for
it'd just
me.
be
that's-
like-
well, yeah, I don't really consider the
Yeah, it
next
would be
level
like-
there till you're starting
like
getting
800,
closer to
yeah.
800.
And
yeah.
then
Yeah, like-
oh, but-
my thing with my devs, I really want to get that to fucking. I'd like to get that over 7, and that's so far away. But then when I get to that, it's like, well, Jesus, Tyler, you're 330 fucking pounds. Like
Yeah.
a 700-pound deadlift isn't anything. So 8 is where it matters.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah.
well, Christ, never mind.
yeah,
You know, like
yeah.
there's too much ground to be
Yeah.
had to where 50 pounds doesn't matter.
Yeah,
to me.
yeah. But if they said 100, what if it was 50 pounds on your
Honestly,
bench
though,
or
that'd be
100 pounds
pretty
on your other two
Oh,
lifts?
100 for the. If it was 100 all
Yeah.
across the board, I'd still put it on my bench.
Oh no, I'd choose bench. Like no, if it was if you're going even numbers across
But
the
yeah, if
board,
it was
I don't-
50 for bench or 100 on all the others, then I definitely would probably take. I'd take 100 on my. Well, probably deadlift just so it's not so deficient, but it's tempting to slap it on my squat.
on a better yeah, so
I can
it's
have a-
kind
so I can have
of
a
do you
real
put it on your
squat.
better lift or your
Yeah.
your lesser lift? That's a good question though, I think.
I like that question.
Yeah. Especially from a red team guy. That's
I mean, because that's the only way anyone on the red team's gonna get any stronger is with fucking wishes.
trying to get we need 50-pound okay. So this is from Diablo Co _lift_hunt_shoot. A long name there. Juan Diablo Co. Said, what gives you the audacity to charge for your work? In all seriousness, how do you factor your overhead, hours put into design, product cost, and printing cost into the final price of your products? Does using an American manufactured product like Champion affect your overhead versus Chinese sourced materials?
Well, I think the Chinese source materials are a reality for every single apparel company out there.
Yeah.
Like we won't lie about it, like all our shirts technically. Like
I mean,
the
the only-
materials.
It's actually hard to find
American manufactured.
Like I think American Apparel. Actually, I think they're out of business now. I don't even think American Apparel exists anymore.
Probably because their operating costs.
Yeah, well, and the thing that like people complain about prices, you go with American manufactured clothing, like that cost gets passed right on to the consumer, and like, oh, a $22 shirt is now probably closer to a $30 shirt because everything else.
Maybe I mean it's you could be looking at like I think some stuff we looked at because I was talking with about that and he was like we would love to be because all our shirts are designed by us.
Yeah.
In the U.S., printed not only in the U.S. but locally in the town that we live in, so that money stays. I mean,
that's a real thing.
There's people that we know and families that we know and people who I go to my kids' soccer games who's, a friend
employed
there
by those
who
own the
who is
business
the
or-
person
yeah.
who sews does the embroidery on the hats and
Yeah.
shit. So that has value to us. Truthfully, I don't think that costs us. That alone doesn't cost us much more than if we sent it out. But the material, the actual like shirts and hats themselves, that's the nature of all apparel business. Nike's not making their fucking shoes here.
No,
Like
it's
that's just the way it is. But the champion shorts honestly was just because the truth is Nick from fucking Live Large, they had some champion shorts and we were like,
those are sweet.
We were like,
Yeah,
oh, those
those are
look
some good-looking
those look
shorts.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool. Like,
Yeah.
we could do that.
Yeah.
For ours and so we looked into it and I don't know that even that factored into it other than we just liked those shorts.
Yeah, I think we like those.
That was
shorts
as
and
simple as it
Champion
was. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
these look nice. Like you
Yeah.
kind of always remember them from like high school or when you were
Yeah.
younger. Like, yeah, these are kind of like
They're kind of a
something I
universal-
saw growing up a lot. Yeah.
They're like a middle of the road shorts where like
Yep. And it's actually surprisingly enough, it's not the easiest thing to find blank shorts from bigger companies either. Like that's
Yeah, that's
and
shorts
if
a
you
lot
want to get
harder
into
than
like if we
t-shirts.
wanted to start doing like Under Armour and Nike stuff like that, like you're probably looking
because you're
like,
paying as much for a blank as you will.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
that just
really
is what
paying
you're
a premium then too.
But yeah, I think that's but so that's the way it is for us. Like I don't think that we put even a ton of thought into
Yeah, I mean,
into that decision.
As
that
far
was
as
just
design time and all that stuff goes, I mean,
We're essentially not getting paid for any of that.
We basically don't count
that.
our time as anything.
Yeah,
like, I mean, anything that we're putting our time into, we're just counting as $0.
Right. We have to do that, or else it would
no one would be able to afford the stuff.
Right.
The value for us is that the product gets out there, and then it hopes that the volume will go at some point to where we can there can be some money.
Right.
But if not, at least we had a pretty good time, and it didn't cost us money to have our shirts all over the country.
Yep. Yeah, we kind of can't. So we basically can't factor in some of those things that he's asking about.
Well, I mean, probably the biggest factor is we try to just offer it at a competitive or comparable price to what other people are doing. Well, and I really think if you look at the market, we're for the most part either average or on the low end as far as pricing goes.
Well, just to answer that specific question, how do we factor it in and come up with the final price? That's what we do. We look at what other people are doing. We know what our cost is on that individual product, and then we know that it has, we've got a dollar range kind of with everything. Like, if we're not selling it for at least this much more, it's not even worth our time whatsoever. Like, it almost is costing us.
And it's also one of those things that the bigger you get, the more successful you can be, because you're buying in bigger quantities. And when you have the mass purchasing on your side, those companies have a lot more profit built into these things then too.
Right.
So that is kind of one of the tough things of being small, is that you have to buy quantities that you can, make some money off of, but you also have to make sure you're selling that product, because if you're going to buy it and just sit on it, I mean, you're just losing your money right there too.
Right.
And we got to make enough money to turn on the air conditioning in the studio, because it's fucking hot in here.
it is warm. Didn't know if it was just
sweaty.
me. Or...
I saw it on Tanner's brow.
Yeah, that's I am sweaty. But luckily I've got on a pair of Champion mesh shorts too.
And those are, how old are those things?
Oh, they've seen some days of wear and tear. They got a hole right in the crotch, so
they've been through it all.
Extra mesh,
yeah,
I like to call it. I think that was about all we had for questions. Let me double check. Did any of you guys have any good questions?
Let me see.
Like questions I can ask you guys?
Yeah.
Is this the time I can ask you guys anything I want to?
Anything that you finally haven't had the opportunity.
Truth or dare,
before.
Tommy?
Ooh.
Tommy's getting married in T-minus 3 weeks?
2 weeks from yesterday.
2 weeks from yesterday. Is there any part of you... Listen, this won't even come out until the week of the wedding.
Yeah.
So... And Leah doesn't listen to this podcast.
Nope.
So
gave up on that a long time ago.
So are you having second thoughts?
you listen. It's never too late until you're actually there.
Oh, I know. I got plenty of time to think this through still. So I'm just gonna keep putting that thought off.
Is all the planning done?
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have to do a bunch of it?
Not really. I had to offer. There was times I was supposed to offer input, and I didn't do a good job with that.
You're in trouble.
Not so much that I was in trouble. I just want to go like a wedding. I want to go and have a good time.
Yeah.
Like that is my, obviously the wedding and the ceremony, like that is a part of it, but
that's not important to you.
But I want to go and have a good time, and that's it. Like that's my 2 check marks.
Yeah, it's a celebration.
I mean, for those things that happen, there are a lot of things that hopefully don't get messed up and go according to plan, but I guess those are my 2 metrics for the success of the day.
And
ideally I'm married before the day's over too.
Yeah, so. if that gets done and you have a good time.
Like first and foremost, I need to get married, and then if I get married, then I need to have a good time.
Yeah.
And then if I have a good time and everything turns out okay, then it was.
I've never been to a wedding and been like, what a total fucking clusterfuck, because something was disorganized.
Well, you don't know.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, no one knows.
My only concern with when I go to weddings where I'm like, Jesus Christ, is that they're like, well, there's way too much going on right now. Like, we could have just done a whole lot less of this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I remember for our wedding, it was one of those deals where I would be in trouble if I didn't offer my input on a thing. A color, a centerpiece, all these things I don't fucking care about at all. So I'd be like, I don't really care about that at all. That's the wrong answer. The answer is whatever she thinks she wants to do. You have to be like, yes, that's what it is. Yeah. That's the one. But you're in trouble if you have an opinion, and you're in even more trouble if you don't. So
I didn't have much. I didn't provide. I wasn't very helpful throughout.
Yeah, and I got it. Like I have to. Hats off to my fiance. Like she's done an amazing job.
Yeah.
Like I could not put in 1/10 of the amount of hours she did and still have any type of sanity. I would have just lost it months ago. But I mean, it's pretty amazing that she's managed to put up with all that.
Yep.
And the other thing too, it's crazy. Not to like bash people, but you kind of forget because you start to just work with, whether it's business, professional, you just work with certain people so you know what to expect or how they work. But it is crazy the number of people that are really not on top of things. Like it's just across the board in life.
When you're relying on.
And I'm pretty
slack.
Like, I mean, you guys know, especially like with the podcast, I'm not the world's most punctual person, but like, I'm going to be here within 10 or 15 minutes of when we say.
You're not gonna not come.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's like crazy, like the number of people that didn't even know, like on a certain day that you were coming. Like their schedule's off by days. I mean, I'm not talking like 10, 15 minutes, days.
Yeah.
Or weeks even. Like, oh, I thought that was next week or next, like it's.
I think it's a common thing in anything. Like we're selling the house here, and we're supposed to have fucking just the home inspection, which my understanding of the home inspection is the other people pay a home inspector, to come in and look over our shit. Mm-hmm. That's it. The home inspector is a contractor who's licensed and everything, and he can come and look through everything. What happened was the fucking home inspector, the buyer's realtor, a contractor they hired to come test air quality, another contractor they hired to come put a fucking camera through the sewer, all that shit just shows up at my house fucking 40 minutes early. So we're still here. You hear the dog barking down there. Yeah. He was fucking pissed. And like, also like, it's a small town, and I worked in the construction type business for a long time. So I'm like, well, 2 of these motherfuckers are crooks. I don't want them in my fucking house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, so now I have to have these people that I was like, I still have some sort of say in what happens.
Yeah.
You just forget that, like, you can do business one way. Like we'll do, we've had issues with very few, but we've had issues with shirts or some of the wrong size, and we always just try to do the right thing and try to do it in a timely manner. If we make a mistake, we usually just try to make sure we find a way to make it right.
I think any of our customers that ever experienced anything that was not to their liking have, in the end, been very happy with whatever we've done.
Yeah.
But we, as a business, you kind of know, it's like sometimes you just have to eat it and be like,
you do.
Like, it is, yeah. But in these cases here, it's just like, it's like you forget that, like, like people are still allowed to suck. Like, and they
and the crazy thing is too, is like, I can say going through this process with the wedding is that, I mean, there's literally been people that we would have wrote a couple $1,000 check to, but they just couldn't return a phone call or write an email, and you have to go, well, sorry, I got to go on to the next person. Like, something's got to happen here.
Because you have to, at some
and it's
point,
like,
you got to be like,
you literally just lost out on, and I'm sure someone else came and filled that spot eventually, but it's like thousands of dollars just went through your fingertips because you couldn't return.
Just like,
and all you're doing is you're like, dude, I'm just trying to pay you for.
It's like, no, I'm literally trying to give you money. Like, that's
all this is. Like, you do the thing that you charge, and I'll pay you for it.
Yeah. Like, relating that within the strength and fitness industry and stuff, you've bought a lot of equipment through the gym and stuff like that. One company that I've had really, really good luck with as far as customer service is Elite FTS. Like, of course their equipment's good. I think people universally believe that. I don't know if they're not usually or probably hardly ever the cheapest, but their customer service is also really, really good. Like, you get friendly people, and they do the right thing, and they're really good. Rogue, I've had some mixed, probably more bad than good.
My last 3 big purchases were from Rogue. I mean, like many, many thousands of dollars. Dog shit customer service.
Yeah.
Fucking shipping comes through late, like many days late.
Yep.
And then fucking the freight company completely drops the ball, and I fucking simply let Rogue know, like, hey, like, I'm not happy with this. I could have bought the stuff directly and paid extra for the shipping, and then I'd have had some recourse with the shipping company, but because I spent all this extra money with you, the shipping is supposed to be free, so it's kind of on you to make this right at this point. And they're like, well, we talked to the shipping company, and they're not going to give us anything back, so, like, there's nothing we can do, sorry. And I'm like, oh, so now I'm doing a shit on you on my podcast. Yeah. Basically. It's like, fuck you, dude. I mean, it was like $8,000.
Yeah.
And it's like, you fucking, and they literally wasted mine and one of my other coaches. We had to take an entire afternoon off to wait for a truck that literally was already 3 days late and then just didn't come. And it's like, well, and they're like, well, I mean, we'll try and get there tomorrow. Okay, but tomorrow now we are all booked. Dude.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I move personal training class
Yeah.
schedules around. Like, so like, fuck you if it comes tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, you put the shit together.
Yeah.
You know, like, and so they're not even a single. If they would give me a $50 gift card,
Yeah.
you know, like something like a hey, we fucked up.
Yeah.
Is all it takes, you know, on an order of that size. Like, I won't, unless I absolutely, if it's a product that only they sell, I won't spend $10 on Rogue anymore. It's just, it's not, they fucked that up and they fucked up the order I had before it and they didn't do the right thing in the end. And I'm pretty easy to keep happy if you just keep me in the loop. And you know, so yeah, I'm pretty much I'm done with them. And their thing used to always be customer service. Every time you heard anyone that did any business with Rogue, it sounded just like your Elite FTS review.
Yeah.
In the last 2 years, that's gone right down the fucking drain. And you've had experiences
Yeah.
with them like that.
Maybe they've gotten big enough that that slipped. You
know, it's
but-
like Matt says with Pioneer. You know,
Yeah.
you got to stay small enough to care.
Yep. And I, that's a good one too to throw out. I would say Matt obviously has exceptional customer service
Yeah.
at Pioneer. Like, I think anyone can ask him anything about anything, any belt that they've got working on, and he'll basically find out where it's at.
he'll get you an
process.
answer,
And
yeah.
yeah. He'll do whatever he can to get you an answer. And is
Titan's the
how
same
about-
way, right?
Well, how about Titan? Have you ever had a customer service thing? or-
I've had just quality problems,
Yeah.
and frankly, I haven't thrown it back at them on a customer service issue yet.
Yeah.
My yokes now, I got to take in and get welded because I'm not going to have guys run on them with hopefully
Yeah.
1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take them in this week and get them re-welded just because some of the things I'm looking over I don't trust. My circus
Really?
dumbbell's bent to shit, like literally just bent, and I've used it 6 times. And so I'm going to have that in. I'm going to have that welded up. The logs, I've had no beef with the logs at all. But also, like, at some point, you're a metal manufacturer. Like, this is just metal. Like, how
Yeah.
are you messing this up?
Yeah. Like the yokes, I mean, they should
Right?
break. I mean, I guess the welds should be better, or like
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
You know, and they didn't run a full beat all the way through. They did quick pop, 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 and one of them cracked. And so,
So that not necessarily a customer service issue with them, but
Not
just
just quality.
a quality. Yeah,
Which I
but
think is
that's
kind of known across the board with them. That
which is a shame because it's like, how much extra money does that cost?
Yeah.
You know what
I mean, yeah.
Like,
Once you're already running a weld over something, like
yeah, you're
Right.
there. You've done
just
it.
go ahead and do it a little bit
you've-
better.
Yeah.
You've sat down at the table. Just fucking eat.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get it.
And you can tell on the wagon wheels, even you can just if you just look at them closely,
They're
you're like,
not made with care.
no, it's like, yeah, I guess you're really just slapping these. You know, you're doing your thing.
It's like
about-
someone showed up to work one day and they're like, "You got to make 50 of these before you go home."
Oh, fuck! All right, here we go.
And, but still, to their credit, I'll spend $40 having those things welded up, and I was
You're still a net
on,
win.
on 2 yokes.
Yeah.
I still saved myself $500.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. There's definitely products in the line where it's totally worth that.
You know, it just is what it is. And I've used the fuck out of them yokes between then and now. And so, frankly, I still got my money's worth. I'm still generally happy with the purchase, not with the product on its
Yeah.
own. But their customer service, I've never had to interact with other than, like, they make it good. You buy stuff through their website, they stick fucking bonus points. You basically get 10 cents for every dollar you spend.
Yeah.
So
Oh, really?
I've put in orders of $2,000 and gotten $200
Yep.
in credit
Back,
I can
yeah.
spend
Nice.
right away,
Yeah.
which is already off some shit that I got for 10% off.
Yeah.
But then you're like, it's like, how are they making any money?
Yeah. Elite FTS has a similar program that you kind of have to sign up for or something. So keep that in mind if you're ever buying anything
Yeah,
from them.
set up an account.
Yeah, yeah.
Anytime you're doing something, especially a company like Elite FTS, where you're hoping, one, that's all big dollar stuff for the most
Yeah,
part. And you're hoping you can do it, often. Like,
Right.
it's really worth.
Another good tip, if you're a gym especially, or maybe if you're someone that's buying more than just like a bar from them, or if you're buying multiple things over time or spending a decent amount of money, don't just buy it on the website. Like, they have sales reps that if you talk to them, like, sometimes there's some quoting or negotiating to be done there
Or they can even make tweaks to a certain product
Yeah,
for you. Like
yeah.
it's not like you might think. It's not like an Amazon where it's like, I want that one,
Yeah,
and they pull
right.
it off the shelf and throw it in a
Right.
box. Like, shipping can be negotiated a little bit.
Yep.
Some additional features might be able to be interchanged, and it's not a big deal for them.
Right. So it's definitely, even if they don't, you're not out anything other than talking to a
Yeah.
human being, But like it's
Which
it's worth
sometimes-
it.
which
Yeah.
could, I mean.
But the couple that I've talked to in the past are both pretty good human beings, so it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I think For the like, I've bought, with my gym, just because we never had a lot of money. I bought some expensive stuff, like some of the higher dollar things where I know I can't compromise. Things you just don't, like rowers and like the skiers, stuff like that. Like I'm not gonna buy some knockoff rower. I'm just gonna have to eat the money, and so like I have a fuck ton of money tied up into those things. But like those Concept 2 products, the rowers and those skiers, like I can't imagine a thing that gets more like
Beating
reps in it than that has there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of electronics, little things you got to read constantly and be accurate. And I haven't had a fucking lick of problem. I have a plug-in on one that comes unplugged, but it's not even the plug-in's fault. It's people just fucking can't adjust the screen without fucking fat handing the goddamn cord. And like that's literally the only issue I've had with the $15,000 worth of Concept 2 products I have. So like that's a product that I think is always worth spending.
Yeah. The farther it gets away from just like a block of metal.
Yeah.
The
the more you want it.
Yeah.
Even shit like our dumbbells, like I bought the big rubberized dumbbells, and I bought them from Titan because they had a good price and shipping was free. And the more I look at them, they are the same as every other goddamn rubberized dumbbell. I swear, it's like bumper plates. They're all made in the same place. I think there's but 2 or 3 bumper plate factories in the world, and they all got somebody. Every one of them's got 200 companies' logos on their dies, and they just,
Yeah. The one this one's just products coming to my mind that Brandon Campbell does a lot of product reviews, and he had one on the. He's got the Rogue deadlift
frame.
The Rogue deadlift frame,
like the platform.
Yeah, I would call it, but like all he bought from them is the frame.
Okay.
It's the metal frame with
and
the
then
band.
You put the wood.
Yeah, and then you put your wood inside of it, and
is that a sexual thing? You just sit there?
You put your wood in it,
and then you take it out, and put it back in. But you can, and if you can buy like the mats from them too, like they'll. Instead of plywood in the center, like they kind of fill it with mats. And if you buy the frame and all those mats from them, you guys tell me if you think this is a good deal. You buy that frame.
Just is there band pegs on this?
Yeah,
frame?
there is band pegs.
Okay, so we're talking pegs here. Okay.
Yeah, so that's I guess what you get outside of just deadlifting anywhere that you deadlift. To get it shipped is like $850.
Jesus Christ.
Seems like a lot. I don't know how much stall mats cost.
Not that much.
I would assume not that much.
$40 a piece. So you would actually need, and this isn't 8 foot long. This is a 4x6, right?
I'm not sure about that.
I don't think it's a full huge platform. I
Okay.
can see on his thing if that's what he uses, right? That's the one he has on his.
It might be 8 feet one direction.
Well, I wondered if it was 4x8, but maybe it's not.
It might be 8 by. I doubt it's 8 by 8. Let me look here.
No, it's not 8x8. I think it's 4x8.
I think you're right because front to back.
Yeah.
This thing right here. Oh yeah, that's 4 by 8. That's 4 foot from
Looks
the
like
up to the back.
So
Yeah, you would need literally one $40 stall mat and then some fucking wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And the rim around the edges is not that important.
It's probably like the extra steel that's just laying around. Like, I guess we could throw it away or turn it into.
They're not running out of fucking square metal tube in
No.
a fucking Rogue.
That's something I can't picture spending $900 on. It's
Also, I think Titan sells one of those.
Yeah.
Really?
Like shipped for
they
like
do.
a couple $100.
That
Yeah,
just
they do.
also seems like something you could go to like any local metal shop and
have
just
them
tell
do it.
them what you want.
We have one.
And they could probably just be like, "Oh yeah, I can have that ready for you in a day
Yeah.
here. I'll just
Or
grab
it's
some."
like, I don't know, why don't you just sit down and grab a pop and I'll get it to you.
Materials will be like $75.
Yeah.
Got $75.
Yeah, 60 if it's cash. Perfect.
What's this for? Is this for your weightlifting stuff? I've taken a yoke to get repaired before.
Yeah,
and
they're
that's
like, "What is this?"
What is this? Is this one of the? Is this one of the guys thought it was maybe for like weightlifting? And I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. They were
The other
right.
guy thought it was some sort of weird sex thing.
He's right
They're
too.
both right.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But well, I think that has most of our Q&A
Yep,
run through.
that was it.
Unless anything new come in, do we get any new hotness?
Oh,
Breaking questions.
what What's the longest distance anyone has traveled to compete in a Massenomics strongman competition?
Okay,
So what now? What's the who?
What is the longest distance anyone has traveled to compete in a Massenomics strongman competition?
Oh,
Prior to this year?
prior to this year would be like Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
Was it even Sioux Falls?
Brookings, I suppose.
Yeah, Brookings, so-
So a couple hundred miles? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple hundred
Yeah.
miles.
I mean, when you say a couple hundred miles, that doesn't.
That's actually-
not
yeah,
super
that's-
like.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Depending
not
on what
super-
part of the country you're in, I mean, that's
Yeah.
a certain distance. That's-
But this year we're drawing from North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota. So four states.
Is Brad probably the farthest, or is the
I think Brad's the farthest.
so? And that's
Because
Yeah,
I think
I
Big
suppose.
Jacob's like an hour out
Of Sioux
he's about
Falls,
4.5 out.
okay.
I think Brad's 5.5
Okay.
out.
and that what's that? A little over 300 miles, maybe around there.
Yeah, 300, 350. Yeah.
So this year we are upping that. Like before this year, that would have been a question where we kind of have to sheepishly answer like, oh, most people are like 5 minutes away. You know?
Yeah, like I literally will walk home from there drunk at the end of the night.
But this year we really are drawing in. Drawing in.
And we're not against farther distances either.
No. There
If
has
someone
been
wants
someone-
to throw their hat
And
into the ring.
I tried to get Brian Benzel posted something about the
well, JP
Yeah,
Price
like-
might have been
Yeah.
interested
and JP
too.
Price. I
Yeah.
was like, well, I mean,
Who knows what the future holds? Maybe we can get JP Price and Brian Benzel to come log press against each other. They're
that
both
would be pretty dope.
they're both
They're both pretty
and,
good. at it.
what would be really fun is just to like have those guys just be two
I
guys
mean,
on each team.
yeah.
You know, just like
We can say hands down, it's gonna be one of the better crowds they'll
Yeah.
ever compete in front of. Like,
but just like
It will
but not
be
have
one
them,
of the better crowds.
not have them be like a special
They're just one of the
exhibition,
guys.
but they're just like
like
on
oh,
the team.
Those guys just seem bigger than everyone else.
Why are those guys
It's like
so big?
one of the top 10 powerlifting totals ever, and a guy that competes at World's Strongest Man every
Every
year,
single year.
and then like 18 other guys that live around here.
This guy enjoys doing strongman things a couple times
Yeah,
a year.
It's like all that stuff, and then just just Big Shane. And,
This guy's watched Pumping Iron over 1,000 times.
yeah, our basically laundry list of railroad employees.
Yeah.
So no, we keep upping the ante on it.
Yep.
So it's coming along. Hopefully within a year or two, it can be a thing where we could actually, just for no reason, like no reasonable draw other than that it's a really fun time and
yeah.
a good show and a good party
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah.
That people will just be like, yeah, I don't know, fuck it, let's go to South Dakota.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like a good time.
Rough it for the weekend.
It's all a joke, but it wouldn't take a ton of convincing to possibly get people like JP and Brian
If
to come here.
if
and,
we
like,
with JP,
like, I don't think-
if we had to float him a few $100
right,
for his
I
flight,
think that's probably what it would take.
That,
and,
like, might be what it would take.
Yeah. And as long as it worked timing wise,
out, yeah.
otherwise I think we could probably realistically do that. But the thing is, it's kind of weird to think, but for most of the people watching here,
They would have
they
no
wouldn't
idea.
care.
No, or it wouldn't
And
even
nor
make any sense
like
to him.
it wouldn't draw in a bigger crowd.
no.
Like to us,
would
it would
just
be
be for
super
us.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to the people watching this they're not strongman fans. They're just like
They're not even. They don't
county
even,
fair fans
they
that
don't
know we
even-
do this thing that have gotten to be like, oh,
They don't
I like
even-
that thing. That
This
was
is
a-
more entertaining than watching sheep and rabbits.
Most of the people that watch this don't even like us, like personally or any of it. They're just like, oh, I don't know. I guess we'll just hang out in the fucking.
I do think it has gotten to
Desert
be
heat.
one of the favorite events of a lot of people that go to.
Oh,
the,
yeah.
It's definitely the one thing that's exciting to
Yeah.
watch.
And for people that aren't from the Midwest and that wouldn't understand, like
What
our
a-
count,
what a
relatively
small town
speaking,
county
our county
fair.
fair is kind of a big thing. It's probably like one of the biggest draws to the
Our
city
area.
all you know.
Hands down,
Year.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we don't have much else going on. Yeah. Also, it's during this narrow window of about 90 days where you're allowed to go outside.
Yep. Works out nicely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but that's got us about wrapped up for today. Did we have any reviews we wanted to dive in, or we can save them for next week?
Yeah, we better.
Too?
There's a lot. We could probably do a whole episode next.
Yeah,
month
maybe
just
next
for
week we'll just
reviews.
read reviews. If
Yeah.
you didn't leave one, you might want to get
Actually,
on that train.
we're just gonna start with we're gonna recap all reviews next episode. So
We're gonna just rank them.
which is the best review?
But we're just gonna read them one at a time and then assign a number to them.
Yep. I give it a 7.
So let's do the rundown. Make sure you go to Massenomics.com. There you're going to find our store. You can buy the shirt that Tommy's wearing.
This here
that
shirt.
Tanner's wearing in a different color. The hat that Tanner's wearing.
Yeah, this you can buy.
And you can buy autographed photographs of me if you email us at GetBig.
Maybe we should start selling those as a joke and see if we could.
Just put him in, like, it'll be a
Maybe
promotion. We'll have
we
one
should
month.
get really corny headshots.
Yeah.
It'll be a promotion. Any order over $200 gets a free.
I don't want that.
So did you see for a while ago that like Halfthor was selling like autographed posters was the word he was using? Posters?
Was it this big?
They were this big. They were like
Yeah.
fucking postcards. And I'm like, maybe something got lost in the language.
One other thing.
He's coming to the Strongman?
No.
Oh, yeah. Very cool.
No, I was gonna say we should mention that Jacked and Homeless passed away here this last week.
we
I
did.
thought we
Yeah, I kind of
should
forgot
mention
about mentioning it. But
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no,
but
this
you said
is
something
better
that-
to get this before we get too far. That's I don't know what happened. It's probably none of our business.
Yeah, I don't know.
But basically, Jacked and Homeless, Steve. I don't even know Steve's last name.
Navalaney.
That's why
I don't
we
know
just
if
call
that's
him Scuba
exactly.
Steve.
Yeah, that's why I didn't go by that.
He passed away. Do you want to tell a story how he ended up in Massenomics gym?
And this
Yeah.
is just like,
This
doesn't
is the
even make
most
sense.
random-
It was on Instagram. This is probably about a year ago now.
Yep.
I would probably last.
It was a
summer
year
or
ago
so.
in May
Yeah,
because
okay.
I looked back to see when it was.
So, and he was on like Instagram, like I guess the live Instagram or
Yeah,
something,
I
or
think
maybe Huck Finn was first or something.
I don't know, but
and
he-
one of them, I think Huck Finn was on his, and he said, "Hey, my buddy Scuba Steve is going through South Dakota, and he's looking for a gym to lift in, and where should he go?"
And I think it was like, among a bunch of our people, but I think also like Tom Callis had sent him our way.
Yeah.
And then he had talked to you, and he was basically like, fuck it. He went like 200 miles out of his
And
way.
like, our way isn't like on the way. Our way
No.
was definitely
Like-
out of the way.
like-
There's a
straight-
part of South Dakota that's on the way,
Yeah.
and you just go all the way through it.
And ours,
we
he
are-
literally had to go completely out of the way and completely back again to his.
there's
his
no
path.
smoothing that
No,
out.
No.
But came 200 miles out of the way each way.
Yes.
Rolled up in his truck, and fucking we met down at the gym, and
Yeah.
he came in and got a bench on, singlet and all, like
Yep,
training in the
yep,
singlet.
yep.
And
Signed our banner.
signed
Like,
our banner.
that's crazy that
Yeah.
the only person to ever sign the Massenomics
Yeah.
banner is him.
It is.
And
He took a shower then and
took a shower and hit the road and headed out. But it was not. I mean, chatted up with all of us. I think we had a good.
And
everybody
he
had a
stayed
good
in
time.
touch too. I mean, he bought a Massenomics singlet. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
he was.
we sponsored.
Oh yeah,
him,
yeah,
so
we
actually
and he
even-
was. We talked to him at the Arnold again, and he was telling us how he was just
Coming
had
off
back
an
surgery,
injury.
and he was excited
Yeah.
to get back to lifting, and he was excited to get going for a meet. Like he had
Yeah.
some things going for him there.
Yeah, that singlet. I think what would be really cool is if I'm not gonna be asking right now, but if we could ever get it, I'd like to like put it in a. Like
Frame
when
it up
people
and then
put in
send it to-
jerseys and
yeah.
like do something with
Yeah.
with it. That
Yeah.
would be
because it has his name and everything on it.
yeah,
doesn't
it had
it?
Jacked and Homeless across the back.
Or at
of
the
it.
very least, get it done like that, and then have like Tom. Finn
hang it up in his garage gym
that'd
or
be
something
cool.
like that.
So something like that would be pretty sweet to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a shame for us. I mean, we don't want to make it seem like we're like roommates with the guy in
Right.
college.
No, but that's the thing. That was like for the
our
little bit
one
that we knew him, it was
interaction-
always really good.
Yeah, and like when we ran into him at the Arnold this
He,
year,
like,
and
remembered us,
Yeah,
it was
and
really nice,
He's
so.
really friendly and really cool, and
Yep.
we would have had be a friend for life, like wherever you
sure.
run into him, and be like, oh, what are we doing?
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
So that's too bad, and condolences to his family and all his friends, and it's a real shame.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not going to go from that to a bunch of other sales pitch at the end. You guys know all the things that I'm going to read off next, but you can follow us on Instagram. You can follow me, Tyler, at Tyler F. and Stone. Tommy
I'm at Tomahawk_D.
and Tanner.
The Massenomics Instagram account at Massenomics.
Thanks a lot for listening.
You
everybody.
just
We'll
heard
talk
the
to you next
Massenomics
week. Stay strong.
podcast.
See ya.
See ya.
With your ears, you're welcome. Check us out on Facebook, find us on Instagram at Massenomics, and make sure you visit Massenomics.com and buy some of that sweet Massenomics gear. From your friends at Massenomics Studio, home of the world's strongest podcast, stay strong.